We are now. We're recording it now. So welcome to the second session today. We just saw all of you about an hour ago, but this time we have Lisa Smith. Well, Lisa, what's your other new name? You have a new name. Lisa Shissler Smith.
Yes.
Okay. Who's has been part of Collab Lab for a long time, has done code of conduct stuff for us, and is an engineering manager at Zapier, as well as a director at Women Who Code. So she'll be talking to us about how to tell your story. That's all I got. It's all you.
Thank you. Let me get back to my I lost my tab already.
It's because you have a lot of them open. I saw your browser a second ago.
Oh man, are you gonna tab shame me? That feels real bad. Get rid of you.
I saw a tweet showing that on Chrome you can group your tabs, and I was blown away.
Yeah, and Microsoft Edge, the new version, lets you have vertical tabs. So if you have a wide screen, you can have them all vertical instead of,
Nice.
Vertical tabs. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so let me share. Okay. Can you see?
Not quite yet. Oh, here it
From
comes.
my
There it is. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna put this here. My notes here. Now I've lost my speaker notes. They're supposed to be right here. Notes. Do you see my notes? You don't see my notes.
Yeah, I think we have the speaker view there.
Yeah, I don't want you to have the speaker view.
Now we want the polished consumer experience.
I thought I had this sorted. I'm sorry, friends. I thought I had this sorted out before I started sharing. Let me stop for 1 second and get this.
No worries.
Aha. It's a separate tab. Okay. Thank you for bearing with me as I work out my presentation bug here.
Rachel, you learned about grouping tabs through TikTok?
It was someone actually on Instagram shared a TikTok video, and I
found mine Twitter, TikTok.
Right.
Wow.
And it was when I was in Florida at my grandma's, and I was like, this is revolutionary. And like for different projects, I will just put them all that I need in a group. So it'll be like this project, this project, this project. Yeah. Love it.
I love
That's
it.
Great.
I love learning things from TikTok. It is my favorite way to learn things.
Have you made the feta pasta thing from TikTok?
I have not.
I haven't either. I was looking at the ingredients this weekend, but that's for another time. All right.
Okay.
Hi friends. I think we're ready now. You can see my presentation and not my notes, right?
Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
Woo! Okay, winning.
Victory.
Fully winning. Yay. Okay, friends, thank you for joining me. And obviously you're the very first in this to experience this presentation. It's a little rough around the edges, but we'll get through it. It's gonna be good. Okay. Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm a hiring manager, so I know from whence I speak, and I've had lots of jobs, so I've been on both sides of this. You can find me in Slack at Lisa. So we're going to talk about tools and types of storytelling to get the job you want. It's an important part of building your persona and your professional portfolio. Stories are the most powerful form of human communication. So we're going to not just be represented by a simple resume, but we're going to tell some rich stories to expand on that, because anybody can have a resume, but your story is yours. Okay, so what is a job? This is not a trick question, but every job posting is a problem in need of a solution. As a hiring manager, I'm not going to post a job announcement unless I have a need, and you are that solution. And we're going to use stories to show how you are the solution to any job ad. Now, caveat here being reasonably written job ads, because out there we know there are job ads that are like laundry lists of 1,000 things that no single human could ever embody. I go around and talk to companies and tell them to stop doing that. But in the meantime, if you see a job announcement that has at least some things that interested you, go ahead and apply for it, knowing that there's a ridiculous list there shouldn't stop you. All right, so how are we going to do this? We're going to build a toolbox of things that we can use to tell your story. And, you know, the cornerstone is going to be your resume and cover letter. And I know people have opinions about cover letters. We're going to talk about that. Some sort of writing, your portfolio / website, and social media. Okay, so these 3 things are going to be the tool set that we're going to work with tonight. So your resume. You've been doing some work on that, but here's tips from a hiring manager. Should be eye-catching, but not too busy. You can organize it chronologically or functionally, whatever matches the job and the path that you're taking. Functional sometimes is a really good way to remove the emphasis on gaps or a nonlinear career path. And I'm a nonlinear career path haver, so I can appreciate this. Do you include dates? Optional. I am not an includer of dates because I am an old, so I choose to not put dates in there. That can also be advantageous when if you're just out of school, so people don't consider you to be too young. Recruiters will require them, but also you have free will. You don't have to put anything on there that you don't want to. So work that however makes the most sense for you. If you would like to show like a long tenure someplace, great. If you had several jobs that were like concurrent, sometimes they can get confusing. So dates up to you. Cover letters are, and the important thing about your resume to remember is that it's think of it like a billboard, not like a novel. You have only a short amount of time to grab the attention of the hiring manager, and resume parsing software makes it so that like I'm going to see probably a truncated view of your resume with just the high points. It's going to pull out those things. So make sure that it's logically ordered and look at it from a machine kind of point of view. You can kind of determine what the parsing points are. If it's bullet points, it'll separate them there, but make sure that things aren't too like artfully arranged so that your items stay together. So billboard, grab me. Cover letter. Not everybody loves them. Not every hiring manager reads them. But if you are trying to tell a story, a cover letter is a good place to start. Your resume is going to be the raw materials, but your cover letter is the actual place where you can craft some words and tell a story. I included in a cover letter one time, it was just after a giant snowstorm that had shut down the whole town. I included in my cover letter, I said, I'll always be to work regardless of the weather because I live right across the street. That was true. Your bagels are safe for me because I was gluten-free. And I'm only 4'11", so I don't take up much space in the office. So I'm the perfect asset for your organization. Our COO remembered that years and years later. So if you're wondering if anybody ever reads your cover letter, they get read. Now, if you're writing a cover letter, try to do a little investigation and find a human to whom to address that letter. Dear hiring official is not great. Dear friends in human resources is slightly better, but if you can find a name, try to include that. And make it, address it to them wherever you can, and then include as many facts in your cover letter as you can. Things that relate to items in that job description. Remember that job description is a statement of a problem, and you're the answer to that problem. So pick out the keywords that are most relevant in there and use those words in your cover letter and or resume, because that will help it get matched up by the parser. So if they say, I'm looking for a JavaScript developer, make sure you say, I know JavaScript, right? Like those are just match those things up one-to-one. So your cover letter is going to be a little more narrative, and your resume is going to be a little more descriptive, bullet points, a lot briefer, a lot less text. And on your resume, don't just drop your GitHub repo link in there for me. Tell me why. This is the cornerstone of storytelling. Why do I care about your repo? I'm not just going to go pawing through your code for no reason. You're going to have to give me a compelling hook to tell me why I want to go in there. Tell me the problem that you solved. Tell me the technology you used. What lessons did you learn? How did you mess up? How did you choose which technology to use? Any or all of those things are great reasons that will lead me into your repo. But also, I might not even have to look at it. If you give me a good enough statement about why you did the project that way, I might not even have to go look at your code. All right, so next, writing or a portfolio or a website, any or all of these are great. If you're going to write, you don't have to like stand up a whole blog. You can write on Medium. You can write posts on LinkedIn. Anything where you can express yourself a little more fully than you can in a short resume or cover letter. Make sure that if you have a portfolio that it's clean, it's correct, it links to things that still exist. Like a lot of the websites I built a million years ago don't exist, so I took them off my portfolio website. A personal website is great, like a splash page, and I'm going to try to show you mine here. Let's see if I can. I'll just put it there. I will add a tab here. Okay. Can you see my website? So this is, I came to work one day and one of my coworkers said I looked like a spy and took a picture of me. So I used that picture. I don't love a lot of pictures of myself. This one's pretty cool. So this is really just a splash page. It's responsive. It looks great on a phone or a tablet. And it's just a little biography about me with some links to the things that are current for me. So I'm an engineering manager at Zapier. I'm a director for Women Who Code. I'm a mentor at Project Shift. I'm a mentor here at the Collab Lab. And so those are the things that I'm involved in now. And how do you get in touch with me? And that's pretty much it. So again, like a billboard, not like a super detailed. It used to have links off to big websites that I built, like the Vermont Creamery cheese website. My brother at the same time was building life-saving paging software for doctors, transplant physicians to get their organs notified. I was building a cheese website. It's fine. We all do things. We're not all going to build, save the world with our work. Oh, I'm sorry. We went too far. Let me go back. Okay. And then finally, yeah, absolutely.
There is a question in the chat. Brittany asks, I've almost never been able to find a name. So how is something like to the team at company name?
That's a great thing. And this is where you can use your LinkedIn detective skills. Find the company that you're interested in and then kind of page through the humans and see if you can find somebody in HR. It almost doesn't like their head of people ops is probably not going to be the person that receives your resume, but the fact that you found them is a good thing. But if you can't find anybody, that's fine. I typically will say, I like I said before, like friends at X company, or friends in people ops or business operations or whatever, but try to make it like to whom it may concern, not a thing. Like make it slightly more personal than that if you can. But yeah, I get that where you can't always find the person. And thank you for fielding that question. I've lost my chat window underneath all my other tabs.
It's like too, like I like being really friendly in them and saying like friends. So if you happen to know that people at that company call themselves something, like if you're playing a Zapier and you're like, hi, is Zapier and friends or whatever it might be. Zapier friends, it's like a really friendly way to catch attention.
Absolutely. That's a great point. I love that. And please feel free to ask questions throughout, and Andrew or Stacie will poke me if I don't see them. Okay, so with social media, rank them in this order. LinkedIn first, since what you're trying to do is get a job. That's going to be your professional social media presence. Make sure that it has everything in it that you want to have. jobs, endorsements, any of the tests that you've taken or certifications that you have, publications, anything that you can throw in there. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like analogous or related to the jobs that you're looking for, just like that you have stuff out there. And also LinkedIn is a great place to write posts and or share other people's posts and get your name out there a little bit more. If you're going to go with Twitter, make sure that it is representative of the you of today. I've been on Twitter since 2008. It's a long time. So, go back and prune selectively if you need to. Just make sure that you're representing yourself well, because people will look for you. Delete anything that doesn't represent who you are now. Employers will search for you. Lesser, and depending on the job that you're looking for, Instagram, perhaps. GitHub, definitely, if you have a repo that's worth sharing. But if you don't need to include it. That's not going to be a thing. And if you've done anything, like if you've participated in Stack Overflow questions, or if you've helped anybody out, anything that proves that you've done things, right? Like you've all worked on a project together in Collab Lab, that's a great thing to include in your portfolio. Okay, so social media. All right, so now that we've got your tool kit, we need to craft the right story. So you've got the places where you're going to put the story. Now we're going to talk about how to write the story. Okay, so there's several types of storytelling we're going to talk about. The first one is the journey. Challenges that led you to the place you are now, how you got to where you are today. If you're a career switcher, why you decided to do that. If you had sort of like interesting places along the way, describe that. The why of where you are, what got you to where you are today. The pathway, a non-linear description of your life. I've had a very non-linear career path. I didn't move from thing to thing real cleanly, but it's all got a central theme. Like I've always worked to bring people and information together. And then you can tell a couple of miniature stories about different jobs that you had that brought you to where you are today, or different experiences that you had that brought you to where you are today. The pathway and the journey are similar in that they're telling how you got to where you are, but the pathway doesn't rely on it being like, first I did this, second I did this, third I did this. Like you can bring them all together in a central theme. And then the touchstone. So like where you are now, provide some history and then bring it back to the present. Like why are you looking for this particular role? Why are you doing this now? What is the thing that brought you to where you are today? So you can see all three of them have very similar characteristics, but they have a slightly different methodology and tone. And you can combine them in places. You don't have to restrict yourself to one kind, but when you're constructing your story, think about how it might fit into one of these kind of frameworks so that you can keep that in mind as you're working, and it keeps your story a little more cohesive, and it gives you a place where you can keep coming back to it. All right, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I'm going to tell you my story a little bit. I've had a non-linear career path, and I consider that to be a feature, not a bug. I've taken something from every job I've ever had and used it to leverage to get another job. Even if it's, I don't like this and I never want to do this again. That's an important thing to take away. But I'm going to tell you a story about how I got a job when I did not have the listed qualifications that they were looking for. And again, like I said, you're not going to always. At the time, and this was a number of years ago, they were looking for somebody with 3 to 5 years of React experience. And at the time, React itself was only 3 or 4 years old. So we're already starting with one of those. And at the time, anybody who had that much React experience was probably still at Facebook and not likely to come to suburban North Carolina for, let's just say, little money. So that was not likely going to happen. So I applied for this job. And I said during the course of my interview, while I don't have 3 to 5 years of React experience, I can show you a JavaScript adoption and abandonment of frameworks looks like the Himalayas. Every 2 years, there's something new and exciting. Everybody gets all excited about it, throws all their energy behind it. And in 2 years, it's gone. So 2 years from now, do you want somebody who only knows React, or do you want somebody with a proven track record of language acquisition? I can show you all the things that I've done, and they bought it and they hired me. So you can spin any sort of experience you've had into a useful yarn to get where you need to go. If you can tell your story coherently and cohesively, then you can move past what are requirements, right? Because a little tip from a hiring manager, we're gonna look for the right person for the job. And when it comes down to it, every organization you join, you're gonna have to learn how they do it there anyway. Even if I hire somebody with 20 years of experience, they're still gonna have to learn how to do it on my team. And so everyone's gonna kind of start from a place of not knowing everything. You're never going to know everything. So what you have to your advantage is that you've all worked in situations where you had to learn a lot quickly. You've either switched careers, or you've gone through a boot camp, or you've done something like really intense. That shows me you have an energy and you have a learning mindset. And that's really important. So you might not have all the years of experience that are listed. We don't tend to do that at Zapier anyway, but you're going to have qualities and energy that you're going to bring to my team. And I'm not going to know that unless you tell me that story, right? So I'm going to be able to look past some of those requirements that are listed there and see you for the solution to the problem that I have, the job that I have. So what we're going to do, what I'd love to do next is I have a storytelling worksheet that I'm going to drop into Slack. And we're going to break out into breakout rooms. Andrew, did you decide like we're going to do like 2 people in pairs in the breakout rooms?
Got it all set up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Exciting. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing here. And I'm going to find my...
Viet's leaving now. I have to figure out the breakout rooms again.
No.
No.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I had something scheduled for 6:30. But
okay, no worries.
We'll see you later.
All right.
Bye.
So I'm gonna drop in this little
Sneaky move, but to be fair, when we're on company meetings and they say breakout rooms, I'm like, bye.
Oh, yeah, I hear you. Laters. But so what is good about doing this in a breakout room is you're going to go through, there's some questions, but you can tell each other your story and take notes for each other. I did this as a bio writing circle with a women's group one time because we're kind of all like, we can frequently tell our story, but we don't recognize sometimes the important parts of it. And so when you tell it to somebody else, they can help you be like, hey, that was an awesome thing you did. You should definitely highlight that. So you can tell your story, you can decide how you want to frame it. So there's a number of questions in there that you can answer, can set up your frame, work through those, and then we'll come back together and we can share some if you'd like. We can work through any questions you have. I'll be here hanging out. I don't know how we do that. Can you chat people that aren't in your room if you have questions?
I
forgot.
Yes, I think that
okay.
I think that is possible. Did everybody find the worksheet?
Oh, I'm sorry. I can. Yeah. Oh.
I just posted the link, the Slack link here. So everybody have it? Okay. All right. Are we ready to go to the breakout rooms? Is that what we want now? Okay,
breakout rooms.
See ya. How long are they going to have?
Okay, wait, real quick. So we just tell our story and fill this out afterwards.
So whatever works for you. These are these are the frames that you can lean on. You can tell the other person your story, or you can work like individually, or you can like whatever. I don't want to like hamper your process here. Whatever works for you. I have frequently found that telling someone else your story brings out things that don't occur to you as being important. Somebody else is hearing them for the first time. So whatever method works for you. And then we'll come back together and we can do like, if we have any questions, people can share their stuff. We can work through the stuff, but we're at 7:30 now. So we're going to take like 15 minutes and then come back together, and then we can chat it out. How's that feel?
So it's 15 minutes total. So both of you should go during that time.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So however that works for you, and then this is not a test. This is just a place to get you thinking, and then come back and we'll talk about it some more.
Cool. All right. Have fun.
Lisa.
Bye.
You might have to click something to go to your room.
Hey, how?
Well, Stacie, I didn't. You were going to be in a room.
All right.
And then Viet left, and so.
That's fair.
Alejandro, click your button. There we go. All right.
I forget which class I was taking at Zapier, maybe powerful writing, but the little like go to your room button got underneath, and so I'm just sitting there like an idiot, like I don't know what to do. It's super empowering. I'm like, great, awesome. I know how to use Zoom.
This whole like this presentation and all of the Career Lab stuff we've been doing like all week has made me be like, wow, I really don't have my shit together. I should probably like get it together before I try and tell other people how. I'm like looking at my LinkedIn like, oh God, when was the last time you updated this?
Well, and I was just like, thankfully I had fairly recently like touched my website. Otherwise I wouldn't have used it as an example, because I was like,
Girl,
oh,
I don't
crap.
even have a website anymore. I abandoned that so long ago.
This is so, it was a thought experiment. It's like one of those headless CMSs that I thought was super fun. Yeah. And so I was like, I had just
Stacie knows a thing or two about headless CMSs.
Right. I had just built a site with something called Grab, and I was like, all right, YAML files and I are friends. Let's do this.
Oh, all right.
So that's what this
We use Graph CMS for the Collab Lab website.
Really?
Yeah, it's great.
And it's actually really good.
It's super handy, right? So I
kind of like it better than Contentful.
We won't tell. But I built this awesome website for this company that did physics-based sound for VR and gaming. And so it had all these great, right? It had all these great examples. Like there was like a graveyard occlusion one where you could hear the sound going in and out. And then they got bought, so the website never saw the light of day.
Oh,
zipped up the files and gave it to them.
But
that was like the second company we had in that time period, like in like a 6-month time period that got bought. So we were like, I was like, maybe we should add that to our marketing materials.
Yeah,
your company will get bought.
You'll get bought, right? You want to get acquired? Work with us.
They're like giving you feedback on their website, and you're like, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's never going to see the light of day.
Right, you're going to get bought. It's fine. Yeah, we worked really hard on it, and like none of the other engineers wanted it because it was this. We were doing like Drupal and WordPress and Craft and that kind of stuff, like all of those, and they specifically came in with Grab as a requirement. And so I was like, I'll learn a new CMS. Everybody else was like, hot potato, none of that for me.
Stacie, you seem kind of eager to be in one of the breakout rooms. Do you want to work through the worksheet?
Oh, I mean, whatever. I was eager to help somebody work through their story is what I was like. I was like, oh, good. I'm going to ask so many questions and try and help them get to the bottom of who they are and what they're after.
Nice.
But this has been like eye-opening, like, oh, I should have like a proper story and have like, because there's lots of things I'm passionate about and excited about bringing to like developer teams and the world of tech at large. But it's like, if you ask me, I wouldn't be able to like pinpoint it and articulate it in a good way. It'd just be like me rambling about glitter for an hour. That's
never
what I'm here for.
Never.
Glitter and Twitter.
Glitter and Twitter.
Glitter Twitter. I'm here for that. That feels right.
Yeah, that seems on brand.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if I had a fraction of your energy, I would be conquering the world, frankly.
Did you see she's getting a coffee out right now? So part of it
is that the secret? Okay, got it. Cool.
just chugging cold brew all day long.
I'm gonna throw over my water bottle that tells me where I am in the day.
Oh wow.
Cheer you on. Like, I'm so proud of you. You get to the bottom and it's like
exactly. And it's like, great, you did it. Refill and start.
Oh, I love that.
It's super cute.
Such an encouraging water bottle.
Well, like I had, because I am that girl, an app connected water bottle.
Oh
my gosh.
100% that girl. Yeah, except for, you know what? It leaked. Water bottle, you have one job, literally one job. cold water, and
But
it did
your
not.
water bottle had 2 jobs. It had to have and be connected to an app.
It's true. And it kept begging for firmware updates all the time. I'm like, shut up, water bottle. Just hold the water.
That's
So
amazing.
pesky.
I know. If I hadn't gotten it on like super duper clearance at Target, it wouldn't have been a thing. But like, also it was purple, so like it had that going for it, which is my jam. But yeah, I went analog, old school this time.
Back to basics.
Right? Just
Tis
get
the
through it.
season.
See if I'm
Are you on track?
well, it's this I should be, this is like 4 p.m. but like I only have this for the rest of the day. So
Ooh.
I am
You're
on
ahead of
track.
schedule.
Yeah, I've been up a long time though. I also have like 17 out of 12 stands for my wrist-based overlord. So
I love it. I
I
like
just got
mine makes me so mad because I walk in this treadmill all day and it's asking me, it's like, do you want to end your
Dan.
workout? I'm like, excuse me.
No,
What do you think's
exactly.
happening here? I'm actively moving.
I'm
And
doing
it's
the
like my
thing.
heart
Exactly.
rate will be at like 110. And I'll be like, you think I'm just sitting and chilling? Like,
Mhm, right? What am I, a hamster? Nobody's heart's that fast when they're sitting still. Well, what infuriates me is that I literally stand here all day and I'll get that nag at 10 to the hour. It's like, you should stand up. I'm like, I've been standing. What are you talking about? So I'm like dancing in meetings, like it's 10 to the hour.
It's not a height thing.
Oh, nice. No, I don't think it is. Like, I honestly don't know, because there are times when like,
The watch is
I
like, we're not
will-
very far off the ground. I mean, maybe
Right?
you're sitting.
Exactly.
you must be on a bar stool.
You must be sitting, because seriously, nobody's hand is that close to the ground unless you're a
The
toddler. What's
altitude.
happening? So yes,
Oh.
I mean, I tried to like do like a deep squat jump up situation where I'm like, is it altitude? Like, I don't know. Still haven't figured it out yet. It's frustrating because there's days when like you stand up and it's like boom, count it, and there's days when you're like, ah, and it's like,
Yeah.
I can't see you
can't
standing. I
explain
don't
it.
know what your problem is.
My
It's
favorite thing about
just-
my Apple Watch is just really easy to like do reminders and timers and stuff. I
Yes.
think that's my
Yes.
number one feature on it.
That's probably my number one use case, setting timers. And then also like, I didn't realize, I think Andrew, wasn't I late to a meeting with you because I had like rearranged my watch? Like I had gotten used, I had the calendar in the middle and I had changed it up. I had changed up the watch face and I didn't have the calendar anymore. And then I was like, I don't know where I am apparently.
Yeah.
My watch doesn't tell me. I don't know where I'm supposed to be.
I love too, like when you're driving and you have maps on that it'll
Yes,
like buzz.
the little haptic, love it.
And it's like
love
right
it.
there because I don't
Yeah.
drive like ever, and driving is not one of my strengths. And so like to have to like look at a phone or something is like a big distraction for me. But if I'm just like right here, I'm like, oh, get onto this interstate. Are there any other options? That's terrifying.
I liked it a lot when I was walking around New York because I didn't have to have my phone out. Like it gave me
Yes.
walking. It was like, turn here. Like, got it.
love that.
I don't have to be like, I'm a tourist, everyone. I don't belong here.
That's why
Like
I went back to the clock bracelet because there was like a rash of iPhone thefts in San Francisco when I was living down there. People would, like, you'd have it out, somebody would ride by on a bike and just snatch it and go, you know?
Yeah.
I was like,
Dang.
so I don't want to be pulling my phone out at night to like check what time it is or something, you know? And so I got the clock
Yeah.
bracelet.
I like clock bracelet. That feels
Yeah.
fun.
Clock bracelet.
Yeah. I recently kitted out the rest of the house. Now everybody that wants an Apple Watch has one. Everybody has an iPhone now. So we're like a harmonious family on one platform. I know. My
It's good to be like single platform within the family. That is good.
It really is. And we're all hardcore into the Apple ecosystem.
Nice.
Started small for me. I got my laptop and then I got headphones and I was still on an Android phone. And then I really wanted that Apple Watch. So I got my iPhone and I got an Apple Watch. Fine. Got an iPad Pro and a pencil.
I want one for taking notes on. Like I've seen, like my partner has the paper white like cover thing, and like the notes are incredible.
Yes.
Like it's shocking. And the little templates they give you for like doing your
I
daily
know.
notes.
They're so cute. So I got one of those. I just got one of my daughter's like artistic pen tips for her Apple Pencil because
Ooh.
she's an artist. So they have like calligraphy tips or whatever. And it's like a
Stop.
little, again, highly susceptible to Instagram advertising. It's like a little box and the 4 pen tips just sit in there and you can just like, you jam your pencil in and you take it out and then you can use it.
You don't have to tell me about Instagram advertising. I love it.
What
They
is
know
it?
Exactly what I want always.
Hard same. Yes.
I'm like, thank you for sending me this. It's perfect.
Right? Exactly. It's like, yes, I have an upright posture
like,
trainer. Yes, I have a DB method.
I feel very secure in that if I want something, Instagram will know. So I'll be like, oh, you know what? I would love a treadmill for under my desk. Treadmill under
my desk.
And then it's like, here's all of our favorites. And I'll be like, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
right. Yeah.
Take all my data. Keep sending me this stuff.
That's exactly. But I don't know what it is about, like, Facebook ads never did it for me.
No,
I like banner ads, whatever. I ignore them. Like they don't even exist. But Instagram, I'm like, here, take my money right now. Like, do it. Why?
You look like a real person posting, and I like it.
I don't know. It's frictionless. Like,
it's great. It's so good.
And now I have to like preamble everything. Where I feel like, okay, I know I saw it on Instagram, but check it out.
I mean, I've actually bought stuff off Instagram ads, which actually my pillow I bought after seeing a TV advertisement, like 2 for $19.99 kind of thing, you know, and that's like the only time I've ever done one of those. And I think maybe I've only ever bought anything else maybe one time from an actual ad on a page, but Instagram, yeah, they've got me a couple times.
They know us so well.
I know.
Well, it's visual too, right? So
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
I love when they send me like clothes because it's like, it seems to like always be unique, like small boutiques. And I love that. Like, how else would I find these boutiques if they weren't doing Instagram advertising?
Exactly right.
I'll buy them. Yeah. I'll buy your small stuff.
I follow a lot of food. I follow a lot of tattoos.
Oh.
My Instagram is largely food and tattoos.
Yeah. So mine is travel and girls. Just girls touching about doing things. Yeah, like
nails. I got my were you in that thread where we were talking about the semi-cured gel polish?
Oh, I don't think so, but I'm in for it.
It was an Instagram ad because I think it was funny because I think it was Renee who was like, Renee Corcoran was like, has anybody ever used the semi-cured nail strips? And like, I think 3 of us were like, yes, these ones from Instagram. and I was like, I can confirm that I have purchased every single one of their pedicures and they're awesome.
Oh,
and
I love it.
They're super fun.
I have just like a basic old gel kit and I'm like been thinking about upgrading to those because they just seem so much like quicker. You know,
they're
and, like,
so
easier.
They're fast, they're seamless. What I've noticed is that each one of my toes is a special snowflake though. They're all different sizes. Like my fingers, I can match like, you know, this one and this one are the same nail size, but like on my toes, they're all different. But you just like stick it on, you trim it off, you stick your feet under the lamp, done. And it looks like it cures to like an actual gel polish and it stays on. Like I had to take them off because they'd been on so long. I had to cut my toenail. Like I couldn't see. I had to take them all off so I could actually trim my toenails because they had been there for like, it was like maybe 6-8 weeks. They last with no chipping, with no peeling.
Oh,
they're great.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Love them. And they like,
do you find that it's like thinner than regular gel? Because that's like my beef with gel. Sometimes it gets so thick.
It's really like it's enough so that it's noticeable, like it's a nice smooth hard surface, but it's not heavy at all. Like you don't notice. Like I'm wearing stupid glue on nails right now and they're like, I feel like they're like heavy
for sure.
But like I'm super into cheap press on nails from the drugstore too because they're very satisfying. And for like $8 you get a gel manicure and it lasts weeks. Yeah.
And it's like when you like with stick-ons too, like in this era where you're not going out and seeing anybody, it's like, what's the matter?
Look, I stress tested mine too. Like I was washing dishes and gardening or whatever, and they're fine. I think gardening was the most stressful because they got warm inside there. You know, that was like the inside of my gardening gloves. But other than that, like unless you're working with acetone all day long, they don't go anywhere, which is super fun. And if they do, you just pop them off, get new ones.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna bring people back.
Bring
All
it
right.
back. Let's talk about it.
Professional.
Yeah. Yes.
Are they
Yeah,
gonna read through the transcript and see me talking about nails?
I was thinking I should have paused the recording, but it's kind of gold. I don't know. I can trim it out actually in YouTube. So
Okay.
we had a fun conversation.
Dear, what did we record on accident? Now I'm curious.
Just
Oh,
a
the
conversation
three of
about
us.
press on nails and gel polish.
Instagram ads and gel nail polish and
Nice.
press on nails and how susceptible
It
I
was
am to
enlightening for
Instagram
me.
advertising of all types.
Love me some Instagram ads.
Okay. That's it. I am their target audience.
They do a good job at making it seem like it's your feed.
I
Oh, yeah.
mean,
Like things, and then you're like, oh, this is sponsored. They're just spying on me so well.
yeah,
It
but
just fits in.
tap, 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 take my money. Like it just works. Okay.
Send me the things.
Right? All the things. And because they frequently, like, I will do that. And then like packages will show up and I'm like, I don't even remember what it was.
All right, I think everybody's back.
Yes.
Yay.
How did it go?
Welcome back, friends. Was that a good exercise? Do you feel like you've at least got some storytelling elements ready for your what I'm only can assume thousands of interviews that you're gonna like people are gonna be knocking down your door to want to hire you. So like you're gonna be in demand and we're gonna have stories ready. It's awesome. All right. So what would be used? Would anybody like to share their story? Does anybody have any questions? What would you like to do next? I'm open to anything that's helpful.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
In the portion where it says, what is your storytelling method, tool, or tools? What exactly does that mean in reference to tool or tools?
Gotcha. So like, are you going to tell your story on a website? Are you going to write Medium posts? Are you going to, do LinkedIn stuff? What are you going to use for your vehicle? Concentrate probably on one, but you can then like, once you have one set, you can abstract little bits of it out and sprinkle them around your universe in ways that make sense.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, that was mystical. Did not intend for it to be.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have questions?
Would you mind reminding us of the different story types to use? I know Allie and I were, so we know there was like,
Sure.
yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, so we've got the journey, like the hero's journey. It's how I got to where I am today. Tales of adversity and overcoming, or like, challenges that you faced that brought you to where you are today. And then there's the path. Like if you have a non-linear path, you can pick selected highlights from the path and tie them all together. And then the last one is the touchstone. And that's sort of like a central focus point. You can put a backdrop behind it, historical context. And, this is also like your uniting feature. Like I have always worked bringing people and information together, but I was a librarian before I was in information technology. And I also worked at a newspaper. So like I've done very different jobs, but they all had sort of the same like information people connection. And so that's my touchstone. So those are the three. But you're probably going to weave you're going to use probably all three in different ways too. Like you can combine them. But just make sure that you have like a narrative thread that you can bring it all back to either a question you were asked or the problem that you're solving. Like we're not just spinning yarns around the campfire about Instagram ads and gel nails. Those are great, but they're not going to get you a job. So try to point it at the thing that you're most interested in and find a hook. That's how you're going to get people in, right? Like what draws you into a good story? I'm not saying we all have to be perfect authors, but like, what's the thing? Like I told them I was 4'11" and gluten-free. Like,
yeah, I love that about
and
the
they
hook.
remembered me.
Like that's what I was thinking is like, whatever your story is, whatever style you choose, it's like you want people to be like, go back to their colleagues and be like, oh, wasn't she the one who
Yes.
XYZ?
Yes.
Wasn't she the one who did this or that?
Yes.
So it's like having that hook or that like theme is a way to make yourself memorable.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You see, Alejandro had a question in the chat too.
Oh, I
What?
didn't. Where's my chat?
Next. No, just now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. How does it showcase you? Is it valid to talk about your personal? Yeah, no, absolutely. So, Alejandro, that's a great question. So, like, in as much as you can, like, there's definitely during job interviews, current job interviews, they're going to have values-based questions. They're going to have what is your work style? Do you like to work by yourself or on a team? What do you find more fulfilling, like helping other people, being a force multiplier, or doing your own work? And so you're going to be able to weave in the bits of your personality like that too. Be like, you know, this project appealed to me because I really like focusing on, you know, usability. So like I did a bunch of work on this project here because it's something that's near and dear to my heart for reasons. Like you can absolutely abstract parts of your personal journey or parts like, you know, if there's a thing that happened to somebody in your family and that made this relevant to you, anything that brings it, that adds some sort of extra shape to a fact. Because you're going to have facts in there. You're going to be like, you know, like if you can at any point be like, I increased MAU by 25% with this project or whatever, like you're going to have a result. So whenever you can bring facts in there, but you're going to be like, I worked on this project and it was exciting to me because reasons, personal reasons. That humanizes the story and you're not just a robot. So definitely bring in, I'm sorry, yes, I'm using jargon again. It's a thing that we talk about a lot on the websites these days, monthly active users, and how to make them more bigger numbers. So you've got a problem like that. But like if you've solved a problem for a business, if you increased revenue or you helped somebody else get hired or you project managed a big thing, like even if you're not applying for a project manager job, if you have project management skills, bring that up. Like that's a thing that all of us in tech need is project management. I feel like that's the secret, honestly. Andrew and I were just talking about that today.
Oh my God. More of that.
Right. But that's Stacie, that's a really great point. Like how to make the things that you've done quantifiable, or at least like objectively, like so somebody can say you're not like, I really helped the team. Like I helped the team by X. Like if you can say how you did the thing, that's going to be way more relevant than just randomly I did the thing, because a follow-up question would be like, well, how did you do that? So like if you've already said that, I got to the end of an interview process and they were like, you answered all of our questions before we asked them, because I had a narrative, a through narrative of, you know, things that I had done. And so I broke the interview. I don't even know how to phrase that, but like I answered all their questions by telling them a story about a project that I had worked on. And so they were able to see like how I organized things, how I motivated people, how I managed change in this, how I did communication skills. How that was a great sentence for demonstrating my communication skills, how I was able to communicate out to the rest of the organization what was happening, how I was able to, you know, deliver on the product demands that we had, and how I kept my engineers from running off the job because it was a terrible project. So are all important things. And so those are all great elements to include in a story. Like the why behind a thing is a great. How did you do it? How did you measure that you did it? Those are all really good, exactly right. Like how you improved a thing, how you can give facts. Like you can say a thing like I improved X, but if you don't tell them how, then it's really just jargon. You're not gonna, you just put words out there, people aren't gonna believe you after a while.
Would it make sense to maybe brainstorm some examples of those kind of quantifiable things? Like
Sure.
Alejandro Yanez just cut our build times in half as an example.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't necessarily even have to be something you personally did. It could be something your team did that you contributed to. So if you launched a project and that increased traffic to a page or something by X amount, that's like something that you contributed to. And I think the important thing is to like I definitely want to have a session on this, because a lot of times it's kind of too late once you go to apply and you've like lost access to all that data. So it's like, if we can get in the mindset as we work, like, oh, I should take a note of what this metric is right now so that I can come back after the project and have this already ready to go next time. Because I think a lot of us are just kind of like, yeah, whatever. And then we're like, oh, I wish I had something to show for it.
And Elise, I was actually literally just going to say that. So like, if you're not already keeping your hype doc, your hype notebook next to you when you're working on stuff, do that, please, because it's super easy to like in the moment be like, yeah, I crushed this thing. And then a week later be like, I don't remember what that thing was at all. So like when you're doing it, note it down. And if somebody says something to you like, hey, that was awesome, copy and paste that, put it in your document. Like, you know, supporting quotes from your teammates are hugely helpful. Like I was able to, you know, talk about, we had an ENPS, an employee satisfaction survey that we ran during COVID times, which was a super interesting time to do that. But I was able to bring like, you know, like 100% of my team said X, 80% of my team said X. Like I was able to tell those stories from those metrics. Now, the issue that I see that question is that Brittany is asking, how do you find those metrics? It's gonna be different depending on like, you know, what it is you're trying to get to communicate. So like, it's, I don't know that there's a universal standard we can say like, this is a thing, but like be looking for places where you added value, because that's what every employer wants. I'm going to invest in this human. I'm going to pay them a salary. And in return, they're going to bring value, and they're either going to bring value by doing things or by making it easier for other people to do things. Like a force multiplier is a crucial aspect on any team. So if you're there doing that glue work, if you do all the documentation for your team so they don't have to worry about it, that's a thing that I want to hear about. That's not necessarily a metric, but it's like, I handle all the documentation for the team so they know that like they can work on their projects heads down, and I got the documentation. Like those are great. And yes, that's a really good point, Stacie. If you have somebody that you're working with, you can ask them. That's the point of like this, that like working with each other. You can tell your story to somebody else, but you can also ask them questions. Like ask your teammates, like, hey, we worked on this thing together. Like, what do you feel like we did great? You can have those conversations. You don't have to worry about that. And, you know, you're doing it for each other too. That's why we had the bio writing circle that I worked on, because it is frequently easier to tell that story to somebody else and have them be like, oh, that bit right there is the important part. We
So
frequently don't recognize
if you
that.
haven't had your first job yet, you're not going to have worked with a product manager or whatever. Like
For sure.
Like my suggestion was to like even Lighthouse. Like if you like say you were like even in the course of your Collab Lab project, you know, like you were tracking Lighthouse, like oh, and like the performance score, the overall score was 79. You know, when we started, but by the end, like I made suggestions and made changes to get it up to 95 or something. You know, like
That's
those kinds
awesome.
of things. Those are metrics.
That's a really good point, Andrew.
Or like accessibility, you can run your accessibility thing and be like, there were 50 errors and now there are 0.
Yes. Yeah. And honestly too, like learning something during the course of a project, like I was talking about before, like if you're going to show me your GitHub repo, tell me like why you chose this technology over the other, because that shows me that you can be pragmatic in your choices. Tell me what you learned, because if you tell me everything went flawlessly, I'm going to stop listening to you because you're lying, right? Like nothing's ever going to go flawlessly. So I want you to tell me honestly, like, where did you stumble and how did you recover? Because that's the important part. You're going to like software engineering is all about Stacie finding the bug over here, like investigating and finding that is super important. But like, you know, how did you get there? Like what steps? Troubleshooting is super, super crucial. If you can work through a problem top to bottom and figure out where it went wrong, it doesn't even matter that there was a problem, you solved it, right? So like if you have those kind of skills and you can say like I was working in a pair programming environment and we helped each other find, you know, 3 bugs before it went to production. That's a great thing. You know, those are all tangible results that you were able to bring. These are all such great ideas. Friends, I'm so glad we were here together.
So glad. This is so good. I love talking about this stuff. I can't wait to read all your stories. When y'all get something together, like whether you chose the website to focus on or a Medium post or whatever it is, like you should share it so that we can see it and get inspired for, I'm just looking for ways that I should do mine. So I really just want to see what you're doing. Send me what you do. I want to see it.
Absolutely. And I'm like, at me at any point, if you want me to look at something, if you have questions, I'm around. I'm kind of literally always online. So please feel free to at me anytime. Yeah, my team works 24 hours a day, so I'm always around somewhere. Only for when are we talking about our story? Oh, hey, that's a great point too. So like you can also talk about like things that you're planning on doing. Alejandra's question was like, can I only talk about things in the past? You can talk about things you're currently working on, things that you plan on doing. You know, like if you say, I'm going to build this kind of website, like take me through your project plan, or tell me, you know, again, why are you doing it? What is the outcome? What are you hoping? What is the end result? What does success look like there? And how did you contribute to that success? How did you make it go? How are you planning on making it happen? Like, here's how I'm planning to go. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to X. Like, show me that you can have some alternatives, that you can work your way out of a problem, because that's super valuable to any engineering manager. I'm going to want you on my team.
Cool. Thank you so much, Lisa. This was amazing.
Yes,
That was great.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. No, it's been great. What's next for everybody? I guess the PRAMP practice sessions, and then in a couple of days we'll go into mock interviewing, and then we'll be done. I feel like we should have some kind of like career lab graduation or something, but we don't have that in the book.
Oh, it would be so fun just to get together. Like, I would love everybody, if you have time, maybe I'll schedule something where we can just get together and talk about like what went well, like do a retro kind of on like what you all thought about career labs, so that we can, because of course this was the first time we ever did it, but next time I hope to improve it so that people get even more value out of it.
Oh, one thing, that's kind of related to this is we're going to be very soon sending out a job status survey to all people who've ever done one of our projects. So this is a way for us to better understand sort of who has jobs, who needs jobs. Like, even if you have a job, are you trying to like get to that next job, so we can start to be more proactive in advocating for you around to companies and things. So when you see that it's going to come through email sometime soon in the next few days, and please get that back. And that's actually also going to help us. We set up partnerships with companies by kind of collecting some demographic information as well. So I think one of the strengths of Collab Lab is just the diversity of the people who've been through the program, and that's really valuable to companies as they're trying to diversify their engineering organizations. So anyway, watch for that. Thanks again, Lisa, and we'll see you in the channel. Let us know if you have any other questions and everything. Thanks so much.
Bye, everybody. Good to see you.
Thank you, Lisa.
See ya.